All right, put us on the timer.
There we go.
Here we go. All right, good morning, everybody. Friday Morning Fodder, week 3, here with news editor Ray Rivard, sports editor Bryan Rose. I'm outdoors writer Doug Etten. We're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up in today's edition of the Lakeland Times, along with kind of what's happening out there in the sports world, of course. So, Ray, what's happening in news today?
News is never stops here at the Lakeland Times. Top story this week is Jim Halpern keeping a campaign promise, saying that he would end legislative exemptions for the records law. That's a big story. The other big story is the water that was tainted here in Minocqua has been cleared up. You can drink the water now. That's always a good sign. Laurel Carlson did a story from the Minocqua Town Board where they talked about the concealed carry law and which buildings should be considered for people who want to carry guns into those buildings. The last story on the front page is an interview with DNR Secretary Kathy Stepp. This story outlines what Stepp said about the direction of the DNR, and of course you can also listen to the interview with Stepp in its entirety on American Investigator by Richard Moore, which is based off of our website.
So, cool. Yeah, a lot of cool things we're doing with our website. This is kind of one of them too. So looking a little further back in the paper, working at Outdoors this week, we've got a story coming up about the DNR shocking efforts. They're doing some fall shocking right now, so I went out with the DNR on Tuesday night and got a first-hand experience with that. We've got the youth mentor hunt happening this weekend, so there's a little story on that, along with some outdoor briefs. So rustic roads, getting to be that time of the season where the fall colors are in full bloom, so you can check out a couple of rustic roads throughout Vilas and Oneida County, so if you're looking to see some colors, that's always good. So, and then, of course, in outdoors, in sports this week, busy week, it's homecoming week, so Brian, what's happening with sports?
Homecoming week, got Ashland coming in. It's a little more than homecoming week for the coaching staff. Mike Mistel, Tom Mistel, both have very strong ties to the Ashland community. There's a feature story in today's sports section about those two. Looking ahead, the soccer team got their seeding for the WIA Regional. They will be the 13th seed. They have to travel to Wausau East.
Lucky 13.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that is Wausau West comes in as the 3rd seed in that regional, and a couple weekends ago, Lakeland beat them 2-1. So, 13th seed, but they got some things that they can have, to build confidence off of. Swim team last week also earned a big win over Ladysmith, beat them by 1 point. They were a little bit under the weather. A lot of the girls were sick going into that meet, so to beat the powerhouse Ladysmith by 1 point, that was a big win for them.
Cool. So the homecoming game, of course, tonight. What's your prediction there?
I think it's going to be kind of a low-scoring game. Both these teams like to grind it out. I think Lakeland will get their first win of the season, though. I think it's going to be 12-6.
Yeah, Mike Mistel, of course, going up against his old stomping ground partner up there in Ashland. So I think it's going to be a close game, too. I think Lakeland, though, will prevail in the end. I've got them winning 32-16.
Ooh.
So
2 points.
yeah, I think it's going to be a good one.
I think Lakeland's going to score some points too. I think they'll be first homecoming. I'm going to go 26-12.
26-12. So Brewers, of course, taking one on the chin on Wednesday night. So the night off last night on Thursday. Tonight they're back at home. What happens?
I think they win at home. I think this has been the MO of this team all season long. I think they knew going into this series. I think both teams did it. When you look at the way they approached each game, the way they approached their pitching staffs and things like that, both these teams knew we have a good chance to win at home. So I think it's what the Brewers expected. I think that one game this week that they haven't scored any runs was the game 3.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, they've been swinging well. I think they win tonight 7-3.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we were emailing, Ray and I were emailing back and forth on Wednesday night, kind of like, WTF, what's going on here, I don't know. I kind of think, too, that, home cooking has just been such an advantage to both teams this series. It's hard to believe that even with the momentum, they're going to struggle, I think, coming in Arizona, that is, coming into Miller Park again. So I really hope to see the Brewers pull it off and hopefully meet St. Louis Cardinals in the championship series.
That'd be nice.
So.
And we got Gallardo going tonight. I agree with Bryan that both teams were playing for their home crowds. When they come back to Milwaukee, I just see them. I think they're going to dominate. You know, and how, were both of you out of your seat when both Braun and
Corey Hart
hit those balls Wednesday night?
Yeah, a home run hitting park, of course, out there in Arizona, and Corey Hart decides that when he's got a chance to tie up the game, he hits it to the deepest corner of the deepest part of the ballpark. So anywhere else in that field, it probably goes out.
Yeah,
but
no doubt. Yeah.
So, but of course, Packers, Badgers are off this weekend, so no Badger game this weekend. But obviously a big win last week, and then we've got the big matchup. I'm sure everybody in the NFC is circling with Green Bay going to Atlanta, playing Ray's favorite team, of course, down in Atlanta. So, what do you think, Ray?
I think they do what they did in the playoffs last year. Atlanta is way overrated. I see the Packers. They'll probably give up, you know, like they've been doing. They'll give up 400 yards to Ryan, but I still see them winning 36-24.
You think Brett will be there commenting anymore?
I sure hope not.
Yeah, he kind of put his foot in his mouth. Of course, he's all over Talk Radio and
Yeah.
Sports Center this week for all of his comments about Aaron Rodgers. But I don't know, Brian. It's a tough game. You know, you've got a good roll going here, 4-0. You have the advantage, of course, beating them last year in the playoffs. Can they really go down there and maintain this type of offense?
Yeah, I think they can. I think that it's going to be hard pressed for any team to outscore the Packers. I mean, they have so many weapons with Finley back healthy. You know, we saw what he did last weekend. Atlanta, I think they're a team that they're on the edge of being. They're where the Packers were a few years ago. I think they need to take a few more steps yet. They got some weapons. I agree with Ray. I think they're gonna give up. You know, Packers could give up 400 yards passing this weekend. But I think they come out. I think it's gonna end up being 42-36.
So is there any remedy for this defense? I mean, take a look at what they've been able to do being 4-0, but their defense just 28th ranked in the NFL right now. I mean, can they win a championship with the 28th ranked defense in the league?
As long as their offense scores 40 points a game, yeah. You know, and yeah, I don't know what the answer is, and I'm not sure the Packers do either. But you know, Collins going out has been a hit, but it's no excuse. You know, they still have to step up, and hopefully they find an answer sometime soon. But you know, the game of the weekend to me. Chicago, Detroit.
That's right. That's right. And that's on Monday night, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so you've got undefeated Detroit, of course, sitting on top of the NFC North with Green Bay at 4-0. And, of course, everybody down there in Chicago is still thinking that they've got something going good this season. But, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough because that defense from Chicago is still a defense that you got to worry about with Urlacher back there. You know, and Stafford still hasn't proven to me that he's a reliable quarterback. So, you know, maybe Detroit is for real. I think we find out maybe this week. So
I'd like to see the Bears take it to them.
I would too.
Yeah. Just to make sure they're not undefeated.
Exactly.
I think the problem with that though is that defensive line for the Detroit Lions is so good, and that offensive line for the Bears is so bad. I think you're going to see
that could be the tipping point.
Yeah, Cutler's going to be on his back 7-8 times. I think Monday nights.
Yeah, so whichever quarterback survives has probably got the chance of winning on Monday night. So all kinds of good stuff happening. Of course, check out the Lakeland Times today on your newsstands, and we'll be back next week with some more Friday Morning Fodder. So thanks, folks.
That's like a sprint.